Captain Jennifer Walsh had been an Army nurse for 14 years. She was 38 years old, joined the Army Nurse Corps at 24, right out of nursing school at Boston University. Deployed 5 times, Iraq 3 times, Afghanistan twice. Spent more years in combat zones than at home. She treated thousands of casualties, gunshot wounds, IED blasts, burns, amputations, every kind of combat injury the human body could survive. And many it couldn't. But she'd never had to choose who lives and who dies. Not like that. Not consciously. Not deliberately. Until October 17, 2007, Mosul, Iraq, when a suicide bomber walked into the waiting room of her field hospital. And Captain Jennifer Walsh became the person who decided which of 83 human beings would receive medical care, and which would be left to die in the hallway. She was stationed at Forward Operating Base Marez in Mosul, one of the most dangerous cities in Iraq during the surge. Constant attacks, daily casualties, mortars, rockets, IEDs, ambushes, suicide bombers. The field hospital at FOB Marez was small but capable. 6 operating rooms, 12 intensive care beds, 20 general care beds, a staff of 30 medical personnel, 3 surgeons, 8 nurses, 19 medics and support staff. They handled everything: American casualties, Iraqi Army casualties, local civilians caught in the crossfire, even enemy combatants when required by the Geneva Convention. It was 10:47 hours on October 17th when the suicide bomber entered the hospital waiting room. He was dressed as a civilian, looked injured, bleeding from his head, walking with a limp. He approached the triage desk, said something in Arabic to the medic on duty, then detonated. The explosion killed the bomber instantly, killed the medic at the desk, killed 2 soldiers waiting for treatment, killed an Iraqi Army soldier, killed a 7-year-old Iraqi girl who'd been brought in with shrapnel wounds. 6 dead immediately, and then the casualties started arriving, because the explosion didn't just kill people in the waiting room. It wounded everyone nearby: American soldiers, Iraqi civilians, children. The blast sent shrapnel and debris through the compound, through the dining facility next door, through the barracks, through the vehicle maintenance area. People who'd been fine 1 second were bleeding and dying the next. Within minutes, 83 casualties were being brought to the hospital, carried, dragged, bleeding, screaming, dying. 83 people who needed immediate medical care. And Captain Jennifer Walsh had 6 operating rooms, 6 tables, 3 surgeons, 8 nurses, including herself. She stood in the hospital entrance, watching them come. 83 casualties, the largest mass casualty event she'd ever faced, and she knew immediately that many of them were going to die. Not because their injuries were unsurvivable, but because there weren't enough resources to save them all. Someone had to decide who got treatment, and who didn't. Someone had to play God, and that someone was Captain Jennifer Walsh. If this story of an Army nurse who had 83 casualties arrive, simultaneously and only 6 operating rooms to treat them already, has you hooked. Hit that like button and subscribe. What happens when Captain Walsh realizes she must choose 47 people to save and condemn 36 to die waiting in the hallway will prove that some decisions destroy you even when you make the right choice. Some guilt never fades, and some nurses carry the weight of impossible triage for the rest of their lives. Now let's go back to understand who Jennifer Walsh was before October 17, 2007, and who she became after. Captain Jennifer Walsh had been an excellent nurse, skilled, dedicated, compassionate. She'd grown up in Boston, working-class family. Father was a firefighter. Mother was a teacher. She'd wanted to serve, wanted to help people, wanted to make a difference. Nursing seemed perfect. help people, save lives, do something meaningful. The Army Nurse Corps offered loan repayment, a commission, travel, adventure. She joined at 24. Her first deployment was Iraq in 2004. Forward Operating Base Anaconda. A year of treating combat casualties. She was good at it. Calm under pressure. Quick decisions. Steady hands. Second deployment, Afghanistan in 2006. Bagram Air Base. More casualties. More trauma. More death. But through it all, Jennifer believed she was making a difference. Saving lives. Helping people. By 2007, she was a captain. Experienced. Respected. Selected for leadership positions. Her third Iraq deployment was to Fob Mares in Mosul, the most dangerous assignment of her career. High casualty rates, constant attacks, extreme stress, but Jennifer handled it. She was the senior nurse, ran the emergency department, coordinated care, trained younger nurses. She'd treated over 3,000 casualties in her career. Saved hundreds of lives, lost some, but that was war. You did your best and accepted that you couldn't save everyone. Until October 17, 2007. When doing your best meant choosing who lives and who dies. When acceptance meant watching people die while you deliberately ignored them to save others. When being a good nurse meant becoming the person who plays God. Jennifer stood at the hospital entrance. 83 casualties being brought in, some on stretchers, some carried by other soldiers, some crawling, some screaming, some silent because they were already too close to death to make sound. She had 6 operating rooms, 3 surgeons, 8 nurses, 19 medics, 3 casualties, 6 operating rooms. The math was simple. And impossible. Everyone listen up. Jennifer's voice cut through the chaos. Command voice. The voice that made people stop and listen even when the world was ending. The medical staff looked at her, waiting for orders, waiting for someone to tell them what to do. We have 83 casualties. We have 6 ORs. We're going to triage. Red tags go to surgery immediately. Yellow tags wait in the hallway for the next available OR. Green tags get basic treatment and discharge. Black tags, she paused. Black tags we can't help. Leave them in the waiting room. Focus on who we can save. Black tags. The dead and the dying. The ones beyond help. The ones you ignored so you could save the others. Jennifer had used black tags before. On soldiers so badly wounded that no amount of medical intervention could save them. On people who were going to die in minutes no matter what she did. But today would be different. Because today she was going to black tag people who could be saved. If there were enough resources. If there were enough doctors. If there was enough time, but there wasn't. So they would die. And Jennifer would be the one who decided. She started triaging, moving person to person, making split-second assessments. Red, yellow, green, black American soldier, traumatic amputation, femoral artery bleeding, could be saved with immediate surgery. Red tag Iraqi civilian, shrapnel wounds, chest trauma, survivable with surgery. Red tag child, maybe 10 years old, head injury, unconscious, bleeding, could be saved but would need hours of surgery. Jennifer hesitated. Then yellow tag. Not immediate. Waiting list, American soldier. Sucking chest wound. Collapsing lung. Could be saved. Red tag Iraqi Army soldier. Abdominal trauma. Bowel perforation, survivable, yellow tag. He could wait. She moved faster. Assessments becoming mechanical. Red, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, black, black. A man, maybe 40 years old. Massive chest trauma. Bleeding internally. He looked at her, conscious, aware, pleading, with his eyes. "Help me. Please. I'm sorry." Jennifer's voice was flat, empty. "There's nothing I can do." She marked his forehead with a black marker, moved to the next patient. By 11:15 hours, 23 minutes of triage, Jennifer had categorized all 83 casualties. Red tags, immediate surgery, WERT, yellow tags, waiting for available OR-16 green tags, minor injuries, 12 black tags. Beyond help, the numbers felt wrong. 24 red tags but only 6 operating rooms, which meant 18 red-tagged patients would be waiting. And while they waited, they would deteriorate. Some would die. The yellow tags would wait even longer. Hours, maybe. Some of them would die waiting. Jennifer did the math in her head. With 6 ORs running constantly, they could treat maybe 4 patients per hour if surgeries were fast. That meant 24 patients would take 6 hours minimum to 2 hours. Could the yellow tags wait 6 hours? Could the red tags wait for an OR to open up? No, some of them would die. Jennifer knew it, accepted it, because there was no alternative. The 6 operating rooms filled immediately. 6 of the 24 red-tagged patients went to surgery. The other 18 waited in the hallway, Jennifer coordinated, monitored vital signs, administered medications, kept people alive while they waited for their turn. A young soldier, maybe 22 years old, shrapnel in his chest, bleeding slowly but steadily. Red tag. Waiting for OR3 to open up. "Am I going to die, ma'am?" "No, you're going to be fine. We'll get you into surgery soon." "How soon?" "Soon. Stay with me." "What's your name?" "Private Daniels." "Marcus Daniels." "Okay, Marcus. I need you to stay calm. Keep breathing. The doctors are working as fast as they can." "I'm scared." "I know. But you're going to be okay." Jennifer moved to the next patient. An Iraqi woman, maybe 35. Abdominal wounds. Yellow tag. Could wait longer than the red tags. "Please. My daughter. Is she—" "Your daughter is being treated. She's okay. I need you to stay still. Promise me. Promise me she's okay. I promise. Now rest." Jennifer didn't know if the daughter was okay. Didn't know which child was this woman's daughter. But she said it anyway, because sometimes lies were necessary. By 11:45 hours, 2 of the red-tagged patients died while waiting for surgery. Their injuries were survivable with immediate intervention. But they'd waited 25 minutes, and 25 minutes was too long. Jennifer zipped them into body bags, marked their tags as KIA, moved on to the next patient. By 12:30 hours, 4 more red tags had died waiting. 6 total. Survivable injuries. Dead because there weren't enough operating rooms. The yellow tags were deteriorating. Some were becoming red tags. Some were becoming black tags. Jennifer retriaged constantly, adjusting, prioritizing, trying to save as many as possible. A child. The one she'd tagged yellow earlier. 10 years old. Head injury. She'd been waiting 90 minutes. Her vitals were crashing. Jennifer checked her pupils. Unequal. Blown. Brain herniation. She was dying. With immediate surgery, she might survive. But there were no ORs available. Adults with more survivable injuries were waiting ahead of her. Jennifer marked her black, moved her to the waiting room with the others who were beyond help. The child's mother, the woman Jennifer had promised earlier, saw her daughter being moved, started screaming, tried to get up, collapsed from her own injuries. "What are you doing? Help her, help my daughter." "I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do." You promised she was okay." "I'm sorry." Jennifer walked away, left the mother screaming, left the daughter dying, because 14 other people needed her more. By 1400 hours, 3 hours after the bombing, Jennifer had lost count of how many people she'd watched die, red tags who waited too long, yellow tags who deteriorated, black tags who begged for help she couldn't give. The operating rooms were still running, 3 surgeons working constantly. But it wasn't enough, would never be enough. By 1600 hours, the crisis finally started to ease. The red tags were mostly through surgery. The yellow tags were being treated. The green tags had been discharged. At 1730 hours, nearly 7 hours after the bombing, the last surgery finished. Jennifer stood in the empty hallway, looking at the blood-stained floor, at the discarded medical supplies, at the evidence of 7 hours of controlled chaos. Final count: 3 casualties. Arrived 7, survived 6 died. Of those 36.6, killed instantly by the blast 12, black-tagged as beyond help, died in the waiting room. 18 red or yellow-tagged, died waiting for treatment. 18 people who could have been saved, if there were more operating rooms, more surgeons, more resources, more time. People who died because Captain Jennifer Walsh decided they would wait, because she chose to treat others first, because she played God and they lost. Jennifer walked to the latrine, locked herself in a stall, and vomited, then sat on the floor, shaking, crying, trying to process what she'd just done. She'd chosen who lived and who died. 47 saved, 36 dead, 18 of them dead because of her choices. Someone knocked on the door. "Captain Walsh? You okay?" "I'm fine." "Ma'am, the colonel wants to see you. Tell him I'll be there in 5 minutes. Jennifer stood up, washed her face, looked at herself in the mirror, saw a stranger, someone who'd spent 7 hours choosing who deserves to live. Someone who'd told a mother her daughter would be okay, then black-tagged that daughter to die. Someone who would carry 36 faces for the rest of her life. She walked to the colonel's office. "Stood at attention, Captain Walsh. Sit down." "Sir, I've reviewed the casualty reports. 83 casualties, 47 survivors. Given the circumstances, that's an extraordinary outcome. You and your team saved 47 lives today. The Army is proud of you." Jennifer said nothing. "Captain, I know what you did today. The decisions you had to make. The triage. That's not something they prepare you for in training. But you handled it perfectly. By the book. You prioritized based on survivability and resource availability. You made the hard calls. That's what leadership is." "Sir, 36 people died." "Yes, and 47 lived. In a mass casualty event with limited resources, that ratio is exceptional. You should be proud. Permission to speak freely, sir." "Granted, I don't feel proud. I feel like I murdered 18 people. People who could have been saved. I chose to let them die. That's not medicine. That's not nursing. That's playing God." The colonel was quiet for a long moment. "Captain, in war, sometimes we have to make impossible decisions. You made the right calls today. The Army recognizes that. I'm recommending you for a Bronze Star. I don't want a medal for choosing who dies. Nevertheless, you're getting one. Dismissed." Jennifer continued working, continued treating casualties. But something had broken inside her. She went through the motions, did her job. But the passion was gone. The belief that she was making a difference. The sense of purpose. At night, she saw their faces. The 36 who died, especially the child. The 10-year-old girl whose mother she'd lied to. Whose brain was herniating while Jennifer black-tagged her. Whose last minutes of life were spent in a waiting room surrounded by corpses. Jennifer started drinking. Not heavily. Just enough to sleep. Just enough to quiet the voices. Her deployment ended in February 2008. She returned to the United States. Was awarded the Bronze Star for her actions on October 17th. Smiled for the photos. Accepted the congratulations. Inside, she was screaming. Jennifer was reassigned to Walter Reed Medical Center, treating wounded warriors returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, amputees, burn victims, PTSD cases. One afternoon, she was assigned a new patient, Iraqi interpreter, arrived from Baghdad, shrapnel wounds being treated stateside as reward for his service. His name was Karim al-Mashadani, age 38, had been working with U.S. forces for 3 years. Jennifer entered his room, checked his chart, introduced herself. "Hello, I'm Captain Walsh. I'll be your nurse today. How are you feeling?" Karim looked at her. His eyes widened. "You? I know you. I don't think we've met." Mosul, October. The bombing. "You were there." Jennifer froze. "You were at Fob Marez?" "Yes, I was translating for the Iraqi army. I was in the dining facility when the bomb went off. Shrapnel in my leg and back. You treated me. You tagged me yellow. Made me wait in the hallway. I waited for 4 hours before surgery." Jennifer pulled up his records. October 17th, 2007. Fobi Marez, yellow tag. Survivable injuries. He'd waited 4 hours. She remembered now, vaguely, one of many faces. "You saved my life," Karim said. "I wanted to thank you. If you hadn't been there, organizing everything, many more would have died. You were amazing." Jennifer felt sick. "I'm glad you survived." There was a woman, Iraqi woman, abdominal wounds. She was near me in the hallway. She kept asking about her daughter. Young girl, head injury. "Do you remember?" Jennifer's hand started shaking. "Yes, the girl died. The mother survived. But when she woke up and learned her daughter was gone..." Karim shook his head. "She tried to kill herself. Had to be restrained. Spent weeks in psychiatric care. Eventually went home to her family. But I heard she never recovered. Her daughter was her only child. Her husband had been killed by Al-Qaeda the year before. That little girl was all she had left." Jennifer sat down. Couldn't stand anymore. The girl's injuries were severe. Brain herniation. Even with immediate surgery, she probably wouldn't have survived. Probably. Probably. So there was a chance. "There's always a chance." Karim was quiet. "I don't tell you this to make you feel guilty, Captain. I tell you because I want you to understand something. That day, you made impossible choices. You saved 47 people. I was one of them. My wife was pregnant when I was wounded. I have a daughter now. She's 3 months old. She exists because you chose to save me. 47 families didn't lose their loved ones because of you. And 36 families did lose theirs. Yes, but if you had made different choices, maybe 60 or 70 would have died instead. You don't know. No one knows. You did the best anyone could with what you had. That's all anyone can ask. It doesn't feel like enough. It never does. But it has to be." Jennifer retired from the Army in 2020 after 30 years of service. Colonel, decorated, respected, spent the last 12 years of her career training other nurses, teaching them triage, emergency medicine, mass casualty protocols. She always told them about October 17th, 2007, about the 83 casualties, about the impossible choices, about the 36 who died and the 47 who lived. "You will face situations where you cannot save everyone," she told her students. "You will have to choose, and those choices will haunt you forever. But you make them anyway, because that's the job, because someone has to, and if you don't, even more will die. That's the burden we carry. That's the price of being a combat nurse." In October 2022, 15 years after the bombing, Jennifer received a letter from Iraq, from a woman named Yasmin al-Mashadani. The letter was in English. Translated by someone. Dear Captain Walsh, you do not know me, but you knew my daughter, Amira al-Mashadani. She was 10 years old. She died in your hospital on October 17, 2007. You marked her to die. Chose others over her. For 15 years I hated you. I wanted you to suffer like I suffered. But then I met a man, Kareem. He told me about that day, about the 83 wounded, about the 6 operating rooms, about the impossible choices you made. He told me his daughter exists because you chose to save him. He told me 47 families didn't lose their loved ones because of you. I still hate you. I will always hate you. My daughter is dead. Your choices killed her. But I understand now. You didn't want her to die. You wanted everyone to live. But you couldn't. So you chose. And my daughter lost. I wanted you to know this. Amira was a good girl. She liked school. She wanted to be a teacher. She deserved to live. They all deserved to live. You couldn't save them all. I know that now. But knowing doesn't stop the pain. I forgive you. But I will never forget. Yasmin al-Mashadani. Jennifer read the letter 3 times, then folded it carefully, placed it in a box with other letters from families of casualties she'd treated over 30 years. She went to her desk, pulled out a notebook, the same notebook she'd kept since 2007, opened to a page dated October 17, 2007. On that page were 36 names, the ones who died, the ones she'd chosen, deliberately or by omission. The ones she carried, she read through them, as she did every October 17th, remembering their faces, their injuries, the moments when she decided they would wait, or wouldn't be treated, or were beyond help, and black tags, beyond help, dead in the waiting room, echoed red or yellow tags, could have been saved, died waiting, killed instantly. Nothing she could have done. Names. 36 people. 36 choices. Some made in seconds. Some made by default when she chose to save others first. Jennifer closed the notebook, went to her kitchen, poured a glass of whiskey, sat on her porch, watched the sunset. She was 53 years old, retired, safe, comfortable, living a quiet life. But every October 17th, she was 38 again, standing in that hallway, looking at 83 casualties, knowing she couldn't save them all, knowing she had to choose 7 saved. 36 died. The Army called it an exceptional outcome, gave her a Bronze Star, praised her leadership. But Jennifer knew the truth. She'd played God, and 36 people lost. Some of them deserved to die. Injuries too severe, beyond help. Black tags were correct, but 18 of them could have been saved. If there were more resources, if she'd made different choices, if luck had been different. People who died because Captain Jennifer Walsh decided others were more likely to survive, more worth saving, more valuable to treat first. She didn't regret the 47 she saved, didn't regret following triage protocols, didn't regret doing her job, but she would carry the 36 forever, especially Amira, the 10-year-old girl whose mother she lied to, whose brain was dying while Jennifer chose to treat others, whose last moments were in a waiting room surrounded by corpses. That's the burden, the one they don't tell you about in nursing school. The weight of choosing who lives and who dies. The knowledge that you did everything right and people still died because of your choices. Surivi saved. 36 died, and a nurse who would carry both numbers for the rest of her life.